My name is Choon from Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman. For today's Bioenergy e-Symposium 2020, I would like to share some findings from my research work, which is regarding bioenergy production using microbial fuel cell. In short form, we call microbial fuel cell as MFC. This is the outline of my presentation. Let me introduce to you about microbial fuel cell. It can be used to generate electricity while treating the organic wastewater, such as palm oil meal effluent, or we can call it as POME. It also can convert chemical energy into electrical energy during oxidation reduction reactions. It is a very useful sustainable technology. Figure 1 shows the schematic diagram of MFC. Palm oil meal effluent is also a focus of this research work because Malaysia is the second largest in the world in terms of producing palm oil. We call it as POME. It is a brownish colloidal mixture released during palm oil extraction processes. It contains high polluting characteristics as per table 1. POME is a high-strength wastewater with high COD and BOD concentrations. It has to be treated before being disposed. The normal way used to treat it is using anaerobic digester. MFC can be used as a pre-treatment system for anaerobic digester to produce electricity. However, power produced by MFC remains as a challenge today. The microbial fuel cell used in this experiment is a lab-scale single chamber tub. This single chamber tub is chosen because it is relatively cheap and simple to construct. MFC performance will be dependent on its design and operational. There are 6 design factors which will affect the performance of MFC. The first factor is anode. The anode, which is high conductive, biocompatibility, having high specific surface area, a high porosity, and chemically stable, will help MFC to perform better. The second factor is cathode, which acts as electron acceptor. It can be made from platinum, lead dioxide, carbon paper, carbon cloth or graphite, and etc. The third factor is proton exchange membrane to act as passageway to transport proton from anode to cathode. The fourth factor is due to MFC's internal resistance, which consists of anodic resistance, cathodic resistance, and electrolyte resistance. The fifth factor is about types of electrodes used for MFC for its anode and cathode. Good electrodes are having high surface area, high porosity, good conductivity, stable, durable, cheap, and accessible. The last factor is distance between electrodes. The distance between the electrodes will affect MFC, internal resistance, and dissolved oxygen at the cathode region. In addition to design factors, there are 3 operational factors. The first one is sludge retention time. In short form, we call it as SRT, which is about the duration of the sludge remain in the system. High SRT will have higher concentration of electrogenic bacteria and able to treat wastewater better and produce higher power. The second factor is hydraulic retention time. In short form, we call it as HRT, which is about the duration of wastewater stays in the system. MFC can produce better quality of treated wastewater by having higher HRT. It is also found that by adding powder activated carbon into MFC will enhance its performance. The methods used to conduct this experiment is shown here. The first thing to do is to cultivate bacteria by feeding them with pomade. This will help to acclimatize them into pomade, to train them to be able to treat pomade effectively. The performance of MFC in terms of power is measured using multimeter. Its biogas production is measured using water displacement method, and its wastewater treatment capability is measured using COD concentrations before and after treatment. The palm oil meal effluent is collected from palm oil mill from Tianxiang Holding Senior Berhad. It is used for this experiment. The activated sludge, or in layman term we call it as bacteria, used for this MFC is from the wastewater treatment plant. The schematic diagram of the setup for this experiment is shown here in this slide and also the next slide. Performance of the MFC were assessed in terms of its capability to reduce COD concentrations of pomade after treatment, as well as its biogas and power production. It was found that by adding powder activated carbon into the MFC would improve its performance. The smaller size of PSC, the better the result in terms of COD, removal rate, and biogas and power production. It was found that lower COD concentrations of pomade is able to enhance MFC to produce higher power. Longer HRT would help MFC to produce better quality treated water. Also, it was noticed that types of bacteria inside the MFC would decide whether more biogas or electricity being produced. The distance between the electrodes inside the MFC would also decide whether more biogas or electricity being produced. It was found that shorter distance would cause MFC produce more electricity. On the other hand, longer distance of electrodes, MFC would produce more biogas than electricity. That's all my presentation. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.